Hey everyone, this is Ross. In today's video, we're going to be digging up some fig trees. And these are not just any old fig trees that I'm digging up. These are trees that I direct rooted into the ground. I literally just stuck a cutting and put it in the ground in the spring. And this is the old man Italian way of propagating fig cuttings. It is the oldest method of propagating fig cuttings. It is the most common method of propagating fig cuttings. Yet a lot of people don't really do it anymore, simply due to the fact that we got in our own heads, we got in our own way. Fig trees are so easy to root that if you came here in the spring, had yourself a 2 to 4 foot long cutting, stuck that in the ground, you would get yourself pretty much a tree guaranteed every time. And that's exactly what this is here. We've been doing this now for years. I've showed you guys the results last year. I went around and showed you guys what different stages and how these look this year compared to last year, and you know, the length of the cutting, the thickness of the cutting, the energy that's stored in this cutting when we stuck it in the ground. That really matters. And as a result, you get different sizes. There's one here which is quite large. It's about, I would say, 1.5 feet long. And then you have one to the right of this. And this guy really didn't grow all that much at all, but it's still a tree. I want to dig these up because the mother tree's back here. Now that it's wintertime, we had came in here and we cut this tree all the way back to 6 to 12 inches. In the spring, when we planted this, the tree was about 3 feet tall. We cut that 3 foot tall trunk and planted them in the ground, just stuck them in the ground. The mother trees here put out all these new shoots, these new healthy branches, put out some figs for me, grew a lot. And now I'm cutting it back because now I'm gonna cover all these with straw. We're gonna cover them with a tarp, and then they're gonna be, you know, pretty much calling it a day on the wintertime. So I can't have this tree here. I guess I could leave it here and dig it up in the spring, but I want to send these two trees to friends. This is a variety that I had promised to people, and I want to see what the results are of this. Unfortunately, well, the soil is pretty loose, so that's a good sign. When you're doing this and you're digging up these trees, it can be quite difficult, and it could be. I've dug these up in a prior video. For those of you guys who saw that one, you may remember that one of them didn't look so hot because what I had done is actually really damaged the root system of the tree I dug up, and I wasn't careful when I really got this whole thing out of the ground. This isn't easy with such heavy soil. What people normally do, if this was your intention to dig this up from day one, a great idea would be to get yourself a propagation bed. And we actually got ourselves something decent here, but I'm looking at this right now and you can already kind of tell there's not a whole lot of roots on this bottom portion. There's really about 2 thick roots, and if I don't get these thick pieces, here we go. So that's it. That's actually surprisingly not as big of roots as I had expected it to be, but maybe I chopped some of them off. Yeah. Well, the point is, it's still a nice tree. This isn't something to laugh at. What we should do, because I probably did lose some roots here. I think on this root here, I lost something. I don't see any roots that got ripped off. Maybe right here, something got ripped off. That's kind of the issue, is that when you rip these out of the ground, the roots can come directly right off of the branch, and that is a really easy process. So you get yourself a propagation bed with really loose soil, well draining soil, and they come out of the ground very easily. Otherwise you get some roots that tear and whatnot. But I think we did a pretty good job. This is something that is pretty respectable, I have to say. This is a respectable tree. Doesn't look like much right now, but there's a lot of top growth, but there's enough root mass there to support it. And I'm seeing some roots around here, and I wonder if this is, nope. So this guy over here really didn't root. And it's amazing because it still put out some growth here. This actually is kind of crazy. To show you how resilient this fig is, we have some roots down here. I mean, not the most, right? Barely anything. Maybe something got torn off, but it looks like some rot down on this portion. Nah, it doesn't look like rot to me. Just looks like normal, what normally happens. But we do have some roots that don't really look like that strong. And then on the top growth here, this actually put out some growth and it hardened up. And it actually did pretty decent. I'm really shocked to see that. So this is not really a tree, but maybe I can stick this in soil and this can continue the process of rooting. So this one's not a waste, but I can't really give this to somebody as a tree. But yeah, that's kind of the results here, guys. I'm surprised I didn't break more roots than I did. And then I guess the last part of this here is just to cover this back up. Make sure that the roots of the mother tree are not exposed. And put the rocks back where they were. Put the cinder block back where it was. Get some of these rocks back on, and that's sort of it. But this is not a bad tree right here. This is about, you know, in total length is almost like 2.5 feet, maybe 2 feet in total. It's got a decent root structure to it. This is a pretty good tree for somebody. So this is just one example. I had planted many varieties directly into the ground like this. And you know, this is really only one example, but I'm just here to show you guys that this is possible. This is something you can do. I think it's a really good method. I think it's a better method than doing this indoors. We really tend to complicate things. And if we just simplify in anything in our lives, simplify, we become better at it. It's like this in sports. It's like this with our jobs. Any technique. Simplify, simplify, simplify. All right. So thank you guys here for watching this one. We'll talk to you soon. I'm going to come at you guys very soon with a video on how I'm covering these, because we've already got this straw on top of pretty much every tree. I just needed to dig that up right there, that variety. And now we can cover this whole area with the tarps. So anyway, guys, thank you so much. Check us out on FigBid down in the description if you're interested in cuttings. Also check out our blog, figboss.com, and follow us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. We'll catch you guys soon. Take care, everyone.